Hey everyone, we're back for Number Corner, day number 3. So we're going to go ahead and click on our Number Corner calendar here. We're just going to flip over our calendar marker for today. So when we flipped over yesterday's, I was wondering if this pattern was going to continue of adding a square each time. So we're going to see if that continues or if it's going to change. Oh, so it wasn't what I was expecting. Let me just slide this over for you. So on day number 1, we had 1 square. On day number 2, we had 2. And on day number 3, I see that we have 6 squares filled in here. So it definitely didn't follow the pattern that I was expecting. But it's kind of neat because the shape changed a lot too. So I thought that maybe when they added 1 more square, it would just continue to make a longer rectangle. But they added a square to the right and added some on top too. So they added 4 more squares this time, which was definitely not what I was expecting. When I look at this array here, I can see that I have 2 rows, I have 3 columns. So I'm thinking in my head some multiplication that looks like 2 times 3 equals 6. There are 6 boxes in all. So I'm going to go back to our main screen and we're going to fill out some calendar grid observations. So today is, a little bit slow here. Today is November 3rd, 2020. Our calendar, it's green just like yesterday too. Our calendar marker for today, the boxes were green, or the units were green. Let's see here, height and length. So this time the height was 2 and the length was 3 and the area was 6. Well, I noticed something interesting about these numbers right here now that they're in our calendar observations here. I noticed that the height increased by 1 and the length increased by 1. I wonder if tomorrow, if that pattern will continue. I wonder if tomorrow's will be, instead of 1 and 2, if tomorrow's will be 3 times 4. Something to think about. It didn't make a square today. It's still just a rectangle. And what do I want to put for an observation today? Well, it's still a rectangle. And I don't think there's really anything too interesting that I'm going to note for today. Other than that, it's still a rectangle. And let me take one more look at that shape here. And now we added on 4 more boxes. I think I'm going to add that too. 4 units, I should say. So in addition to updating this calendar grid every day, we're also going to be playing kind of like a little game here with this fraction spinner. So I'm going to pull up these fractions and we're going to talk about them for just a moment here. So these fractions in the spinner are called unit fractions. They each have a 1 on the top. So this is 1/2, this is 1/8, 1/4, 1/8, 1/4, 1/8, and then back to the top again, 1/2. So they're all 1 somethings. That 1 in the top of the fraction, we call that the numerator. So all of these unit fractions have a numerator that is 1. It's 1 out of so many equal parts of the whole. So when I look at this 1/2, I think about having like a big pie, because Thanksgiving's coming up and we always have pie. So if I have a big pie and I cut it into 2 really large pieces, boy, I'd like to eat one of them. One of those pieces out of 2 I'd love to eat. If I had a pie and I cut it into 8 slices, well, the pieces might be a little bit smaller because there's more of them. And I might still get 1 of the pieces out of all 8. So the 1 represents how many, and the bottom number, the denominator, represents the parts that make up the whole. So this 2 means that 2 pieces make up the whole. or in this one, there's 8 pieces that make up the whole. So we're going to be spinning these 2 spinners, and we're going to be doing some recording with that information. So I'm going to go ahead and spin them. Oop, that first one landed on a 1. And that second one is 1/2. So now I'm going to go back and I'm going to do some recording. So today's date, sorry, my computer's a little bit slow today. Still working. Today's date is November 3rd. Oop. That's not the right calendar grid. This one is. There we go. Today's date is November 3rd. And when I spun 1, and my other number was 1/2. So a 1 and a 1/2. Now, I have to make an equation here under this observations part, but because I only spun the number 1, I don't really have much for an equation. I'm not adding anything. If this was a 2, I would be adding 1/2 and 1/2 together, but because I just have a 1, I don't have an equation today. No equation, no number sentence, okay? Now I'm going to go back, and we're actually going to put some numbers on a number line. All right. Okay, so I'm going to bring this little mark up. If this is 0 at the beginning of this number line, I want this next tick mark to be 1. I'm going to put it at about halfway. I want that to be my 1 whole. Whoops. Oh, good gracious. All right, so if this is 0, I want this little tick mark to be my 1 whole. Now I need to put that 1/2 on my number line. So when I look at the fraction 1/2, I know that we're talking about 1 piece out of 2 equal pieces. So when I look at my number line from 0 to 1, I have to split it so that there are 2 equal pieces. So I'm going to take my little tick mark here at the bottom, maybe, and I'm going to split it so that I have 2 equal pieces. Now if I put it here, it looks like I have 1 piece on this side on the left, and I have another piece here on the right. And they look about equal. So we would call that line 1/2. That fraction would be 1/2. Oh, it does not want to drag there. Let me try it one more time here. Oh, come on. Well, we're supposed to be able to move that fraction, but it's just not wanting to move. There we go. So the distance from here to here is 1/2. And the distance from here to here is another 1/2. But right now we're just going to put that 1/2 on the line because that's all that we rolled for right now. Stay tuned for tomorrow's number core.